Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hey fish fiends and aquarium junkies. Welcome to Tabarak Aquatics. I am Ross and you are here in my basement fish room. Hey family, I'm back. Welcome to Tabarak Aquatics. Now before we get started, first I want to say thank you very much for tuning in to watch my video. All of you who have followed my videos, and I know I dropped off for a long time because I had a lot of life stuff going on, and I'm not going to get into it. I'll keep that personal and I'll just say, hey, I'm back. If you're here for the first time, welcome. All of you who are here, whether you're returning or whatever, please go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the like button, please subscribe. I hope you enjoy the content. Please subscribe. And leave a comment, okay? And this time around, we're not just helping my channel, because with my intentions, I want to help my channel actually help the fish hobby at large. So please help us all out by subscribing, hitting the like button, and leave a comment. So get to the nitty gritty. In this video, we're going to be discussing this overcrowded tank here, and the fact that I have overcrowded tanks in just about every tank I have here in the fish room, because I don't just suffer from multi-tank syndrome. I suffer from wanting every fish you see syndrome, okay? I can't say no. And then they grow up and they get big, and then next thing you know, you have a overcrowded tank, all right? So when we have that, we're going to have to make some moves. So with this tank here, what I decided to do is to thin it out some so that I can make room so that this tank can be healthier and easier to maintain. All right. So this is my pool pond here, y'all. This is the pool pond that I had that disaster in it. As you can see, my arowana darting around looking uncomfortable. But this is the pool pond that I had the large catfish in it, the big silver arowana, the 2 peacock bass, the pacu, I had my big catfish in it, and big Oscar in it and stuff like that, and they all died. I lost them and everything. So I did fix the pump. I fixed the situation and try to make use of this by moving some fish in here. So I moved the 2 silver arowanas, all 5 of the datnoids, the 3 red atabapo pikes, the very large Zabrina pike, the 2 larger lenticulata pikes. I moved them all in here, and they didn't like it. So this is us taking a look at it. I had to turn the water off so I can show you guys. Look at them. They're hiding behind the crate. They're hiding inside the crate. They're squeezing their hide behind there. They're looking very uncomfortable. Like I said, the arowanas, they were jumping all over the place, and then when they're not jumping all over the place, they're at the bottom. Arowanas don't usually hang out at the bottom. If they're hanging out at the bottom, it's a problem. And then all the datnoids are huddled back there in the corner. They are not making very good use of this space at all. Big problem. And they're not eating either. They're not eating. Their colors don't look good. I got to fix this problem. It's depressing me. All right, so as you can see, here they are. I put them back, and you see they're much happier in this tank. Everybody's swimming around, and they're eating healthy, and they're looking good and all that stuff. And I see you looking at me, but you know good and doggone well that I am not the only one out there. I'm not the only sick aquarium bastard out here who just have to have every fish and don't know how to say no. So yeah, I'm guilty of that. But the bright side is that being that you out there, some of you out there looking and you have overstocked tanks, there is a way to maintain this. There's a bright side is that they're pretty simple, easy fixes. You can just simply do water changes like you see me doing here now. Double up on your water changes, triple up on your water changes. Water changes can make the difference, because when you have overstocked tanks like this and you want to keep your fish healthy, okay, space is an issue, but your water quality, you want to give them fresh water, double up, triple up on your water changes. And the reason why, one of the main reasons why, is because when you do your routine water changes, let's say for instance you have a weekly or bi-weekly schedule where you do your 50 to 75% water changes, right? So eventually, no matter how stocked or overstocked or regularly stocked or comfortably stocked, even if you only have one fish in there, those nitrates are going to catch up, because when you take 50% of the water out and replace it with 50% of fresh water, you still left 50% of nasty water with nitrates behind. Okay, and then now next week you got another 25% on top of that, and so on and so on. So every now and then, every few months, what you want to do is double up and triple up on your water changes. What I mean by that is like if you do a water change today, you can turn right around and do that same water change tomorrow or 2 or 3 days afterwards, and then on the next schedule you do your water change, and then the next day or 2 days or 3 days afterwards do another water change. Do that for about 2 or 3 rotations, and what's going to happen is that you are steadily thinning out the nitrates in your aquarium and replacing it with fresh water, and you get your nitrates down, you get a hit of the nitrates, and now you're ahead of the game. Because if you don't do that, the nitrates eventually are going to creep up on you and slowly come to get you, right? Do know that no matter how many fish you have in your tank, if you stay on that same weekly or bi-weekly regimens, eventually the nitrates will catch up. It is an absolute must to periodically double up and triple up on your water changes, okay? What a lot of people don't take in consideration is that your nitrates, a lot of times it will lower your pH, because all the particulates and waste and wood and whatever you have going on, it will lower your pH and give you a pH swing, and that also might irritate or annoy the fish, make the fish uncomfortable and unhealthy. All right. And also, you also have to keep in mind that with all these water changes, the water coming out your faucet may be, and most times it is, in most cases, the water coming out your faucet is a different pH than the water that you normally keep in your aquarium. So with that said, if you're doubling up and tripling up on the water changes, you may be inadvertently lowering or raising your pH. So please, when you do your water test, don't just test your ammonia and nitrate. Test the pH that's coming out of your faucet versus the pH that's in your tank, and that way you can act accordingly. But keep that in mind, okay? All right, next thing is that, okay, you're doing your water changes, you're checking your water levels, you make sure that your pH is where it's supposed to be at and all that great stuff. Now, you can't avoid the other thing, and that is the occupants. Are they getting along? Do you have any aggression? Are they fighting and stuff like that? Yes, while it's true that overstocking a tank, especially with aggressive cichlids, overstocking it, you can get the aggression down, but always you're going to add a fish, and the other fish are just going to single that fish out and pick with it. Or you just might get just one particular fish, and if you're lucky, that's going to be the case. You just get one fish that's been in the butthole and pick it on that fish. And what you got to do, I'm assuming most of you have a multi-tank syndrome if you're watching this video. So you're going to have to take one of the fish out. Like for instance, when I first added Gil, my true parrot, my Hoplarcus, there he is back in the corner, my true parrot Gil, when I first added him back, and I added him back to this tank because he was killing all the other fish that was in the 6-foot tank that I had put him in. I put him back, and when I added him back, all of a sudden he was the new guy on the block again. He lost his ranking. So this Feste right here was picking on him and chewing his fins and chasing him and all that type of stuff and becoming a problem. So how did I fix that? He was one of the fish that I took out. No, it was at a different time, but I took this one out and put him in another tank by itself, 20-gallon tank. I put him in there for 2 weeks. So sometimes you can take a fish and remove them, break them down a little bit, let them be the stranger, and then add them back, and all of a sudden they the new guy on the block. okay? And once I added them back in, by the time I added them back in, it was already too late. Gil had secured his place in his hierarchy, in the hierarchy in his tank, and that fish was no longer a threat. So now I have them coexisting peacefully. So that's another thing we have to take in consideration. So yes, when you have an overstocked tank like this and you have these problems, you know, you got multiple tanks, use those tanks. Sometimes you got to move fish around, put them in a different tank, create a different scenario, sometimes permanently, sometimes temporarily, okay? And as you can see, they're very happy, they're moving around and nobody's fighting and all that type of stuff. And that is how I added this, that other Zebrina pike, the smaller Zebrina pike. That's how I added it in here, because there he is back there. That Zebrina pike. This one right here, he killed about 4 to 5 different Zebrina pikes that I had put in here, and he just would not coexist. And so what I did is when I took all these guys out, he was one of the fish that I took out, those big red pikes I took out. See, he chased a little bit, but he's not terrorizing that smaller Zebrina pike. Once I added them back in here, that smaller Zebrina pike had already had his self established. This was his home. He was going to run a little bit. You see, he just got like a few little tears in his fin, but it's not chewed up. But they coexist now. I don't have that problem. So sometimes you have to do that. Remove a fish, the aggressor, let him chill out for a while, let him become a stranger, then add him back. And now he have to prove himself. And now instead of being a bully, he's just the grumpy guy who got to live in this guy's turf. Problem solved. And the other thing is that if you want to acquire more fish, this is where the multi-tank syndrome comes in at. Go ahead and buy more tanks. If you just have to have more fish, get more tanks. And me, even though I have a lot of tanks, I need more tanks. So part of my problem is that I still need more tanks. I need more tanks, I need bigger tanks. And that is to take care of the fish that I already have. I am tempted to buy more fish. Actually, I do have more fish coming. I have a few new fish that I haven't shown you guys yet, and I will show them to you. And I do have more fish coming, but at least I've realized that I need to get more tanks. So yeah, get more tanks since you have this addiction and this fiending for more fish. And lastly, I'll tell you the obvious. Yeah, we love feeding our fish, but you're going to have to lighten up on the feeding as well in order to manage the tank and maintain, you know, the health of the fish. You're going to have to lighten up a little bit on the feeding, not feed as much, and also do understand that temperature plays a part as well. When you raise the temperature, you speed up their metabolism and they make more waste. If you turn the temperature down just a little bit, you can feed them a little less, they make less waste. It's a tad bit easier to manage your tank that way. Also remember that as far as aggression is concerned, if you raise the temperature in the tank, your fish are going to be more aggressive. If you lower the temperature in the tank, it lowers the aggression. Also, wave makers are really handy. Have those wave makers in there. Instead of fighting each other all the time, they got a little bit of current to fight against too, a little distraction. So anyway, y'all, that was my little adventure. Like I said, my little adventure that I had, I was trying to thin out this tank here. I took some of them out, put them in the pool pond, tried to do the right thing. They didn't like it, and it was probably because they didn't want to be on the floor with me standing over them, looking down on them. It made them very uncomfortable. They couldn't see out the sides and stuff like that. That probably made them uncomfortable. And they weren't with their regular tank mates and buddies that they used to being with, which also probably played a role in the whole situation, whole ordeal. But I'm not finished yet. I'm going to take another stab at it. This was just a quick pivot, and I'm going to readdress the situation and build them a big tank that they're going to be comfortable in, God willing. Well, anyway, y'all, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for sticking to the end, and be good to your fish. So thanks for watching. Especially those of you who watched to the end. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for leaving a like. Thanks for leaving a comment. Until next time, y'all, happy fish keeping. Be good to your fish. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.